everybody. It's time for our monthly book haul, and this time it is for the month of August. So, to kick things off, I will talk about things that I received from publishers, which I'm very grateful for, as usual. First is something from Avon, and that is Bombshell by Sarah MacLean. It has been a hot minute since I have read a novel by Sarah MacLean, but when I get into a historical romance mood, I'm definitely looking forward to tackling this one. I know that it's a spin-off, but that the characters have appeared in some other book in the series, so I kind of don't want to know too much about this story, but I do really like this cover.
Very nice.
This time from Putnam, we have The Shoddy Set Up by Lily Vale, and this one says, "What if you found out your ex was your perfect match?" I think it's there's like a matchmaking. There's like a matchmaking,
like an algorithm
type thing, and she ends up paired with her ex again.
Oh boy.
So that should be an interesting one. I also got this pretty box.
Ooh, hello.
Which is mildly spoilery if you know that design. Oh,
I do?
Look, very pretty.
Oh.
It says, "This fall, Vespertine will devour you." There's a bookmark. It says, "To save her world, she must trust the one who nearly destroyed it." Bookmark.
Okay.
There's a letter.
That's lovely.
Arc of the book, of course.
Ooh.
Which is gorgeous, and we'll talk about that in a second. There's also a pouch.
It's a little pouch filled with, well, not filled, but
Oh, it's got a necklace. Pretty.
rose quartz.
I love
Classy. Ooh, it looks like something that you divine with, or
Yeah, kinda. Scry.
scry. Thank you. That looks like a candle.
Of course there is. Let's see. It is a candle. Oh, it's a gray one. And it says Haunted Convent. Incense, vanilla, and sandalwood. So that's what that looks like.
Convent.
Huh, it does smell like a convent,
Oh,
right?
that's
Don't
true.
you think it
It's
smells
got that
kinda
whole
like
votive.
Right? It kind
Kind
of
of.
smells a little
Yeah, it
bit
does.
like it. Anyway, as you saw, the book is Vespertine, which is by Margaret Rogerson. This comes out in October, I want to say, and it is a fantasy novel about a young woman who has to defend her world against the restless spirits of the dead.
All right, cool.
I don't even really need to know the details because I do love Margaret Rogerson's writing. I enjoyed Sorcery of Thorns, and I'm very excited for this one. I also just really like that it has some form of like death and magic in it.
Sure.
I think that'll be a lot of fun, so can't wait to read it. And this one is from Margaret K. McElderry Books, which is very exciting. Speaking of review books, I did get a few of them digitally. So from Edelweiss, I got Love Boat Reunion, which is by Abigail Hing Wen, and this is the companion novel to Love Boat Taipei, whiwhich I read a couple of years
Yeah,
ago.
Love Boat Taipei.
This one is like a second chance romance between two characters, Sophie and Xavier, who you meet in the first book, and I'm here for it. Like, I don't even care. Like, I just want them to get together, so I'm very excited about that. And then we have The Last Legacy, which is by Adrian Young. This is a standalone about family, blood ties, reinventing yourself, and controlling your destiny, set in the world of the Fable series, which I'm pretty stoked about.
Cool.
2022 releases, we've got When You Get the Chance, which is by Emma Lord. This is a big-hearted novel about falling in love, making a mess, and learning to let go. It is basically pitched as being Mamma Mia, kind of, which I'm quite looking forward to. And then we have Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which is by Su Lin Tan. Has a gorgeous cover, which you're going to see here. It's a debut fantasy inspired by the legend of the Chinese moon goddess Chang'e, in which a young woman's quest to free her mother pits her against the most powerful immortal in the realm and sets her on a dangerous path, where choices come with deadly consequences and she risks losing more than her heart. Which sounds so good. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about that.
Very well.
So thank you to all the publishers for all the lovely things that they approved me for, sent my way. Very exciting.
So lovely, isn't it?
Yes.
So because I have binged pretty much the second Kushiel series,
What happened next?
Because Alexa had so many questions about, yeah, but what about that other series? The one that comes right after that? And I remember borrowing from the library and not really sort of like liking too much, but I do remember that there are certain allusions, because there is a time jump. It is set like years into the future, and I thought I wanted to see what the allusions were to the old thing, so I ended up buying the 3 books that came after. So I now have everything Kushiel related. It's the Namaz Kiss series by Jacqueline Carey, and it is set in the same universe as the Kushiel, like, stories with Phaedra.
Sure.
and now Imriel. Yeah, like just a couple of, like, maybe 100-ish, maybe 90-ish years later, right? So long after everyone's time and the events of, I know, it's just crazy. And yeah, it's sort of like a rediscovery of sort of like the gods of old, or in this case, the companions of old, and what have you. So yeah, it centers on a young woman who is from Alba, I think, but has ties to the mainland.
Don't tell me
Terry.
anything.
So none shall be revealed. So we'll see if I get to read that again, but I did skip to the parts that I wanted to see, and I thought, and it killed me, so that's fine. Then the next thing was just, I saw it, there was also sort of on sale, and sort of people were promoting it. It is A Dance of Cloaks by David Dalgleish. It's centered around like the head of the Assassin's Guild, Stren Felnhor, the greatest assassin ever. Problem is he has a son who's equally as ruthless, ready to maybe take over someday, maybe, I think. I'm reading into that, that's me. But the summary does say that Aaron has to protect a priestess's daughter from the entire guild, and I guess comes, you know, face to face with his father and the whole institution that birthed him. And I thought, alright, let's see where that goes. That's always fun. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, because this one had a birthday month in August, I thought it would be fun, whilst I was whisked away on one of her magical little book tours of her birthday, to get her a book that I thought would be really cool. And it is the Margaret Atwood book, The Blind Assassin, easily the first and favorite Margaret Atwood book that I've ever read. All the rest of her stuff was pretty out there, to say the least. But this one, one of my closest friends described it as Pulitzer bait. I can't blame him, but at the same time, it does make sense, but at the same time, I did like it. There is an intelligence, an almost ornate, kind of artsy way that this story is told about, you know, how it cuts through different time periods. And there's this young woman of ambiguous age and era, and then there's another woman who you know is a little old, or well off in years,
sure.
And it's almost up to you to figure out, well, who's who in which stories.
Oh, that's fascinating.
And then in between all of that is a fantasy kind of, you know, like story, The Blind Assassin. And so it circles back and forth between the fictional world and the stories of this young woman. So it's a really, it's like I said, it's very Pulitzer-y. Like it's like, ooh, it's fantasy, and it's a mystery, and it's a thriller, and it's a drama. So I thought, well, that's all. I get it, Miss Atwood. You are up there with the rest of the writers, and I totally understand. So yeah.
I only bought one Kindle book, which is an improvement over last month. And to be fair, I actually have already read it as well. So this is The Prophecy by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It's the 4th book in her Titan series. And I read that one on a whim in August. Really enjoyed it. It is set in her world of Greek gods and mythology and how it kind of bleeds into the modern day. And it's really, really fun. Yeah, I'll have more thoughts on that in what we read, but that's the only Kindle book I purchased last month. So now we're going to move on to books that I bought, or, you know, treated myself to, because birthday, right?
Fair.
So first are 2 books that I bought when I met up with Rachel and Kristen. We had actually gone out on the Saturday that was Bookstore Romance Day. So obviously I was like, I gotta buy romance then. Totally. And I bought 2. So first is Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which is by Talia Hibbert. I have heard nothing but incredible things about this one. This is the first book in the series. It is about Chloe Brown. She is chronically ill, and she makes herself a list of things that will help her get a life.
Sure.
And so she enlists the help of her neighbor to get that done, and things kind of happen from there. Then we have Third Son's a Charm, which is by Shannon Galen, and this one was recommended by my friend Lisa from Remarkably Lisa. So this is one where he's like a bodyguard almost to the main character, and she does not want that at all. Except at some point in the book she finds herself in real trouble, and so his skills will come in handy for that. And I am very much looking forward to reading this. You might have seen us mention this series in our Possibility Pod, but
it's finally here. Yes.
Volume 31 of Yon of the Dawn. I refuse to look about what it's about because spoilers, but
way
look,
too spoilery. It
has my 2 faves on the back. Also, something that I bought manga-wise, Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight, which is the 11th volume in this series. I am holding off on reading it just because there's only 1 more volume left, and it comes out in 2022, so that would be kind of a torturous wait. But the series is really cute because it's about a girl and she ends up in a celebrity romance. The next books I bought when I was out with Rachel, we went to McNally Jackson. So the first one is Record of a Night Too Brief, which is by Hiromi Kawakami. I love this cover. I don't know, there's something about these psychedelic mushrooms that just work for me. It says, in these 3 haunting lyrical stories, 3 young women experience loss, loneliness, and extraordinary romance. I just really love these covers. There's actually a bunch of books that have this kind of cover, and I'm kind of interested in collecting them all.
Very nice.
And then we have a book that I've seen mentioned by Reagan over at Peruse Project. This is The City of Dreaming Books, and it's by Walter Moores. It says on the back, Optimus Yarnspinner has inherited from his godfather an unpublished manuscript by an unknown writer. He sets off to track down the mysterious author who has disappeared into Bookholm, the so-called city of dreaming books. Yarnspinner falls under the spell of this book-obsessed metropolis, where an avid reader and budding author can find any number of charming attractions, priceless signed first editions, salivating literary agents, and for-hire critics. But as he pursues the trail of the missing author, the darker side of Bookholm begins to unveil itself. Cold-blooded book hunters, fearsome cyclopean booklings, sharp-toothed animatomes, and of course the Shadow King, whose howls rise from deep beneath the city at night. Will Yarnspinner survive his quest into this world where reading is a genuine adventure? It sounds so good.
That sounds pretty dope.
I am super excited to read this. And then we have 2 books that I got as presents. The first is this updated edition of Daughter of the Forest by Juliet Marillier. I really like how they did this cover. And this is basically inspired by the Six Swans fairy tale. It is about Sorcha. She is the beloved daughter of her family. Her father ends up marrying this woman, and she ends up cursing the brothers and Sorcha, and the only way she can save them is if she stays silent for a certain number of years, and adventures ensue. It's a really good book. It's been so long since I've read it, but I'm excited about that. Then we have Senlin Ascends, which is by Josiah Bancroft. This is about Thomas Senlin and his wife. They go on a honeymoon to the Tower of Babel, but then they end up getting separated, and so Thomas is determined to find his wife again, and he must travel through the Tower of Babel in order to do so. I've heard nothing but great things about this one, and I'm excited to read it myself.
Alright.
This one was from Kristen, by the way, and this one was from Rachel. So the same outing where Mackie picked up The Blind Assassin is the one where I picked up Gingerbread, which is by Helen Oyeyemi. This is a story that has familial legacy in it, and it says that Perdita Lee may appear to be your average British schoolgirl, Harriet Lee may seem just a working mother trying to penetrate the school social hierarchy, but there are signs that they might not be as normal as they think they are. For one thing, they share a gold-painted 7th floor walk-up apartment with some surprisingly verbal vegetation. And then there's the gingerbread they bake. Londoners may find themselves able to take it or leave it, but it's very popular in Durstrana, the faraway, or according to many sources, non-existent land of Harriet Lee's early youth. When teenage Perdita sets out to find her mother's long-lost childhood friend Gretel, a true lover of the Lee family's gingerbread, her search prompts a new telling of Harriet's story. It just sounds so interesting and so magical, and I am down for that. And then Mackie was nice enough to buy me books at Barnes & Noble. So the first thing is something that I'm adding to my Penguin Drop Scraps collection, and this is The Joy Luck Club, which is by Amy Tan, which I've never actually read before. But it is this very pretty.
It is pretty, isn't it?
It's this very pretty purple color, and I'm very excited to own it. I would like to read it at some point, just because I think it sounds fascinating, because it's the stories of mothers and daughters, right?
Cross-generational.
I feel like you would.
I may have watched the movie, maybe, I don't know. Like, I went through like a, so if I did at all, there was a whole pile of movies that I just sort of watched. Probably don't remember. But I do know Amy Tan's work from reading a couple of her books. And highly recommended. I mean, she is friends with Stephen King, so that helps too, for whatever reason.
The next book is Son of the Shadows by Juliet Marillier. It's the second book in the Seven Water series. It matches so perfectly with the gift that Rachel got me. This is actually about the descendants of the people in the first book. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Then we have The Betrayals, which is by Bridget Collins.
That's a pretty cover.
Stunning cover. I have to read you the summary because that's what got me. It says, at Montvere, an ancient and elite academy hidden high in the mountains, society's best and brightest are trained for excellence in the Grand Jeu, the Great Game, an arcane and mysterious competition that combines music, art, math, poetry, and philosophy. Leo Martin once excelled at Montvere, but lost his passion for scholarly pursuits after a violent tragedy. He turned to politics instead and became a rising star in the ruling party, until a small act of conscience cost him his career. Now he has been exiled back to Montvere, his fate uncertain. But this rarefied world of learning Leo once loved is not the same place he remembers. Once the exclusive bastion of men, Montvere's most prestigious post is now held by a woman, Claire Dryden, also known as the Magister Ludi, the head of the Great Game. At first, Leo feels an odd attraction to the Magister, a mysterious, eerily familiar connection, though he's sure they've never met before. As the legendary Midsummer Game approaches, the climax of the Academy's year, long-buried secrets rise to the surface, and centuries-old traditions are shockingly overturned.
There we go.
Sounds so good! Oh my gosh, I'm super excited to read that as well. And then we have a book that I've been like talking about for like months and months, and I finally was like, you know what, we're just gonna pick it up, buy it. It is a book called Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. I actually don't know how it's pronounced. I don't really know much about this except that the main character is called Piranesi by the narrator, and that there is a magical sort of sentient house in the book. And I feel like what I've heard is that it's better not to really know anything going into it and to just let your impressions form. I feel like it's going to give me similar feelings to how I felt when I read The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, but I am looking forward to that. And it's not very long either. Speaking of things bought, so I had actually pre-ordered one of these books, and I was like, great. And then I found out that you could get signed copies of the books, and I had just reread the first one, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna get signed copies because I love the series so much. So the series in question is Eva Evergreen, and it starts with Eva Evergreen's Semi-Magical Witch, which I have now read twice this year and loved both times.
So nice.
Eva is she aspires to be just as great a witch as her mom is, but unlike her mother, who seems to have like endless wells of magic, Eva only has a pinch of magic. And so she has to figure out her own way, her own path, and how she can use what she has in order to sort of, you know, go after what she wants. And it's so good. Oh my gosh, I love it so much, and I just need Mackie to read it. This is now our signed copy. I think it's signed to us both.
Is it? Oh, that's right. It is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just love this book so much. Ta-da! It says believe in your magic, which is really cool.
I'm gonna cry now. That's
gonna
do.
So I pre-ordered a copy of the second book, and I also got a signed copy of the second book. So this is Eva Evergreen and the Cursed Witch. I am very excited to get to the series. So Mackie was like, we're just gonna give away.
Yeah, we have no shortage of nieces who would appreciate.
It says believe in the impossible. I don't know what it's about, although I have an inkling based on how the first book ends. I'm looking forward to reading this one as well, which is very exciting. Speaking of pretty things, I caved. Kristen and I caved. We basically both caved on the same day, and we ended up getting these
cave buddies. Yeah?
We ended up getting these editions of books in the Bridgeton series by Julia Quinn, which were created by Once Upon a Book Club. So I have two. I have The Viscount Who Loved Me, which is the second book, and I have Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, which is the fourth book. And they're just very pretty editions. Like, I love the illustrated covers. I love that the back has like a quote on it. I love the colors they chose. The spines are fantastic. It's just, I love these books. These are two of my favorites in the series by far, so I'm glad I own them. I don't aspire, I think, to have all of these hardcovers, just, you know, my faves. So goodbye. I'm very pleased by that.
So I just have a quick little
comics
interlude. Not so much comics as it is, but just one of the things that we've been doing for the last year and change would be Magic the Gathering, and that's something that we just sort of like do now. That's just
casually do.
And Magic the Gathering has come up with some pretty cool, I want to say, visual guides where they just take lots of their stock art and, you know, put a little story and flavor text and turn them into like coffee table book-ish size things. Since we neither have a coffee table nor the space to put coffee table books in, and since I'm the only one who wants to peruse these kinds of things, I basically decided to go grab them. And the latest of this series is something called Magic the Gathering: Planes of the Multiverse, a visual history of Magic the Gathering. And I read it. It's super cool. It basically gives you a rundown, very quick, high level of every single plane in Magic the Gathering ever in history. And it even has, you know, focus areas and people and places and planeswalkers. People, places, and planeswalkers. That should be like that. That's
so pleased.
No, that sounds like a Magic the Gathering, like, you know, like you know, like today on People's, but you know, like 3 Ps, right, or whatever. That's always kind of cool. And then Old Guard, Tales Through Time #5 came out, and of course Reign of X3. Ongoing series that I love. Everybody loves the X-Men, and if you don't, alright. No, I mean, you know, you hate people for not liking things that you like. We gotta change that little narrative. People gotta like what they like. And then of course Old Guard, there's a bunch of Immortals kind of thing. So the X-Men are on the front foot. We're getting the prequels now of the Immortals that I sort of like really love, that don't have to be angsty about their teeth. Well, not their teeth, but like
teeth.
I don't, just because the only Immortals we have are like vampires and the ones that are just like, I will take your head and I will be the only one. Like, it's just, there's no...
Sorry, it's just funny that
you know, it's just, it's, am I good? Like, you know, vampires always questioning, I need a soul. So,
do you know?
I don't know, they'll be guilty forever. I mean, just brooding inside. Like, it's just like, you know, they should have like a brood off between like Louis de Pointulac and like Angel. Spike would lose on the brooding. He's just not into it.
He's just not broody enough.
Yeah, but he would win on the I'm just over it already. Like, you know, it's like, that's life. I did terrible things. Which is the right way, you know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, flog yourself in a church somewhere? That's a Darla quote, by the way, for those of you who love Buffy. Anyway, that's my little advert, a little interlude.
The last thing that will be featured in this video is the July Fairy Loot box.
That is true. What's in the box?
I don't know yet, but we'll find out. Let's see if we can find the card.
We shall card first and unbox.
I really
later.
like the art that they had this month. So this is the card for this month, and it has
Ooh.
gorgeous art. I will allow Mackie to hold it. The theme of the box is Tales Retold.
All right, so let's start with a snazzy bookish umbrella. Design brought to you by by the Team Fairy Loot.
Here's the umbrella.
I'm like, who's Tim Fairy Loot? Oh, it's Team Fairy Loot. And
Is it Caraval?
It's Alice in Wonderland. Actually.
Oh, okay, I can see it.
It's
Oh, well,
Heartless,
yeah, look.
Heartless by Marissa Meyer.
Look at that. I wonder.
So
it just has the
I actually
prints of
kind
the
of
card.
want to use.
I'm gonna
that.
use it.
It's cool.
This is a really useful thing, by the way. I'm just
Yeah, I
gonna
know.
say.
The umbrella, like, especially with, like, you know,
Yeah.
rain being a thing. So one more. There's a new book sleeve.
Wait, that was really funny.
I'm sorry.
With like rain being a thing, I'm like,
It's true. I mean, whilst on Earth, there's a new book sleeve.
ah.
They've improved it further
Pretty.
by using the same material we use on our pencil cases, which you
Yeah.
will
Oh my
love.
gosh, I like it.
It features artwork by none other than the amazing Rosie Thorne 88, and the
I
piece
really love
features
the
the main
art.
characters from the Blood of Stars duology by Elizabeth Lim.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Have you read,
It's so pretty.
Blood of
I've read the
Stars?
first one. Yes.
Oh.
Oh, my gosh, it's so.
I
pretty.
want a Blood of Stars. Do we have it?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh no, I only own it on Kindle.
We have
Oh
it.
no, I ordered it from them because they have a
Sweet.
pretty edition of it. Oh, I love this design though. I'm obsessed.
It's gorgeous. All right, a tattoo learned item inspired by one of the most known YA retellings, A Court of Thorn and Roses. There's a
is it?
gorgeous tin
A tin.
designed by the talented Chatty Nora.
Oh, this
Can
is
you
very
spot
pretty.
the wings?
Can I spot the wings?
I don't know what kind of wings we're talking about, but I bet the fairy wings. No, not fairy. Fae.
It says, "Be glad of your human heart. Pity those who don't feel anything at all." It's
Wow.
very pretty and shiny.
Pity those. Are you kidding? It's so fun to not feel anything.
Oh, and if you were wondering, sorry, I didn't show it to you. Here are the wings.
Them's the wings. Okay.
Pretty.
People pay good money to not feel things. Anyway.
All right, what's next?
The beautiful foiled print showcases artwork by the lovely Kevin Cayley.
This one?
Yeah, and features Maya from the Star Touched Queen series by
Oh,
Roshni Chakshi.
that's pretty too.
Yes, yes. Right now we've got some bookish socks
Oh.
by Katarina Book Designs. The design was inspired by a Cinderella retelling called Cinderella is Dead.
Oh, look, it's cute.
Written by Callan
The shoes,
Baird.
they're very cute. Look at that print. It's so adorable.
Very nice, very nice,
Yeah.
very nice. This one's collectible tarot cards are the King and Queen of Wands. They're designed by Morgana. and,
Oh my gosh, this has to be Caraval.
Caraval.
Yeah, I
Yes,
knew it.
Stephanie
It's
Caraval.
Legend and Tella.
Our feature book of the month is the 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. Draws on the Wild Swans piece, and then here is all of
Oops.
that.
Alright,
Oh,
let's start
gorgeous.
with, there's a bookmark, which
Yes,
matches
there
what
is a
Maggie's
bookmark.
holding
That's
right
right.
there.
It's got a little kind of thing right
And
there.
then there's the, ooh, wait, no, not that. There's, as usual.
the Fairy Loot thing.
And then, so there's a print, which is very pretty, which has the author's letter at the back. And then this is their edition of the book. I actually have the UK edition of this also. This is my second copy, but it's more purple. This is the original UK edition. This is their edition, so it's more purple, which I love.
Yeah.
Right?
But more than just
and the
that.
spine are also very different.
Yeah, but look at what they sprayed them edges
But look,
with.
so the edges on the top and the bottom are purple, but this,
6 purple
Nope.
cranes.
that's 7. Oh, this one's a different one.
Yeah, it's paper, but still a crane.
Yeah.
Not so much crimson though.
Don't give it an identity crisis. Oh, look. So there's, as
good
usual,
foliage.
some foil here. It's so pretty. It has the cranes and the main character, I assume. And the spine is also quite pretty. It has cranes as well. And, I'm sure...
To nobody's surprise.
Oh my gosh,
but
it's so
everyone's
anime. It looks like an
absolute delight.
anime.
Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Good for
Just,
everybody.
this art though. Do you see this?
It's gorgeous.
Do you see this?
All that smirky.
Do you see this? Sorry. I think the artist, it has to be Salties, because this looks like something that she would draw.
I believe.
Is it Salties, Sally?
Yes, Saltese, yes. Beautiful artwork on the other side.
I can't, guys. Just look at it, okay? I'm losing my composure.
Yeah, even the foil embossing is actually Saltese as
Is
well.
it? Oh, my gosh. Incredible job. This art is stunning. never gonna
It's a great world we live in
touch
today,
this
isn't
book
it?
ever, because it's too. So. Anyway.
Holds books while we close.
Anyway, those are all the books that we picked up during the month of August. We hope you enjoyed watching this book haul, and if you're excited for any of them, do let us know, or let us know what you acquired in the month of August. We'd love to know. Like, subscribe, find us on all of our social media below, and we'll see you guys with a new video soon. Bye!